entering the Kruger National Park at Malalan Gate, we spent our first night in rustic luxury at Crocodile Rest Camp. Early the next day, we set off down the S25 towards Crocodile Bridge, ready to meet up with the rest of our crew at the start of the Lebombo Eco Trail. It was a route that promised to be as dramatic as a high-speed car chase, but with fewer engines and more elephants. Hang on to your hats, this is where the adventure begins. So we're here at the start of the Lebombo 4x4 trail at the Kruger National Park. We're going to be spending the next 4 days doing an off-grid, off-road trek up from Crocodile Bridge all the way up to Pafuri, going through some of the back roads, back eastern edge of the Kruger National Park along the Mozambican border. After a thorough briefing from our trail guide pilot, yes, that is actually his name, we set off on a journey that promised to be as epic as it was ambitious. Over the next 5 days, we would be traversing a whopping 500 kilometers. It's like driving from Joburg to Kimberley, but with more wildlife and fewer traffic lights. Got our first casualty of the trail. Fortunately, it's not a 4x4, it's a 4x2. And he doesn't have enough traction to get up over this rocky section. So Pilot, our trail guide, is coming back with his 4x4 and is going to winch him up and over the obstacle. Back. Once we'd navigated the obstacles, we pulled over for a well-deserved break. Time to stretch our legs, catch our breath, and grab a bite to eat. It's amazing how a little respite can turn a grueling slog into a proper adventure. It's the end of day one. We left Crocodile Bridge this morning at about 9 o'clock. It is now 5 o'clock. We've just arrived at camp. So we drove all the way up from Crocodile Bridge, pretty much along the borderline between South Africa and Mozambique. And our camp stop for the first night is just outside of Lower Sabi. We've now settled into camp, set up the tents. We're about to start the fire and get dinner on the go. It's the morning of day 2, 7 o'clock in the morning. Today we've got about 115 kilometers that we need to do. We're going to be heading up from Lower Sabi towards the Olifants area and camping overnight there. Should be a good day, beautiful weather, nice and clear. Last night was a little bit chilly in the tent, but yeah, it looks like we are in for a beautiful day. Looking forward to the trails. The sun had barely risen and we were off, setting off from camp with a naive optimism only a fool could muster. But, as always, adventure had other plans. It wasn't long before trouble reared its ugly head, a flat tyre. One of the trusty Cooper STs on the Kruger trailer had decided it had had enough, and so there we were in the middle of absolutely nowhere, wrestling with a tyre iron.
Ash is going to do the next demo.
On the video.
Short little interlude there, but no dramas, tyres all fixed and we are back on our way. With the tyre on the Conqueror finally sorted, it was time for lunch. And naturally, lunch meant one thing, talking about vehicles. While tucking into some questionable burry rolls, the conversation turned to vehicles that had conquered the Lebombo Trail. Some were praised, others not so much. One thing became abundantly clear. Just because a vehicle can make it up a potholed four-way street doesn't mean that it can survive out here.
Pilot, just be honest. The Ford Rangers never made it through the trail.
No, I took, I don't know how many Ford Rangers. They went out clean with no problem.
Yeah, come back broken.
No.
I've never had a flat tire. I drive that well. I don't know what happens.
We've got tyre puncture number 2. We've now stopped for the second time on the day, having to change the tyre on the Prado this time.
Yeah, hold you.
How much per am I supposed to use on this thing?
More than what you did.
No, I am human. Thank you.
It is morning of day 3 on the Lebombo Trail. Yesterday we drove about 115 kilometers and I think we've got about 115 or so today as well. This morning we head into Olifants main camp for about an hour just so we can have a quick shower and fill up with petrol and water. And then we hit the road again, moving further up north towards Shingwedzi.
This morning ride, we undershot this, eh? We call it the breakfast ride.
How many beers have you guys had so far?
All of them.
Some of these rocks are like perfectly round there.
Yeah.
Making a quick fuel stop, going to grab a quick shower and then back onto the trail.
What time is our next?
I think he said we also have the bridge is moving. Stop on the
Oh, we stopped on the bridge.
We are at low level bridge tower. This is no entry, and not everybody can use it. Only field rangers, army, and us doing the Lebombo Eco Trail.
Give a just left Olifants. We've now stopped on one of the low-level bridges between Olifants and Letaba, sitting on the banks of the Olifants River. Absolutely magnificent.
Careful with the push because else that's going to go off. Just careful.
These trees.
These trees, those, yeah.
Of those trees, yeah.
Day 4, and guess what? Yes, more tyre trouble, because clearly the universe hadn't punished us enough. This time it was the Fortuner, that mighty beast of off-road prowess, brought to its knees by a slow leak. Not a dramatic blowout, no, just a slow, agonizing hiss of air, like it was quietly mocking us. Luckily we managed to plug it and carry on with our adventure.
It wasn't.
Crash, just checking you guys are all good.
Alive and kicking.
Our poor form continued on day 4. Just when we thought the fun was over, the 4x2 Fortuner decided to give us an encore, getting itself properly wedged in soft sand whilst crossing a river. Of course it was bound to happen. A two-wheel drive vehicle in soft sand is like a dolphin trying to climb a tree. Completely useless. But with the trusty Max Tracks deployed, we managed to free it without too much drama. Where are you going?
Just walk off into the sunset.
Just going to go for a walk with my stool. Where's the best place to go where I'm not going to get trapped?
Go, Bobs. I'm so proud of you.
Before you get inside there, 4 foot in mountain.
Oh, yes.
The Dagger boys in the pen.
So we've done about 60 kilometers today, come up far north, 20 kilometers past Shingwedzi. We've now settled into camp, set up tents, we've got the fire going and are about to settle in for the evening. It's been a fantastic day, easy driving, Lovely game viewing. We drove along the Shingwedzi river for most of the day, so lots of elephant, lots of giraffe, kudu and nyala. It's really been a fantastic day. The weather's awesome, warm, about 30 degrees, which isn't bad for early September. The quality of the roads has been good, nice and dry, fairly easy going, nothing too hectic in terms of 4x4 required, but really had a fantastic day on the trails today. So these are the amenities on the Lebombo Trail. All 4 camps have permanent ablutions for the ladies and the gents. We've got the toilets over here. Over there we have a shower. It's a bucket system. You fill up the bucket, raise it to the top of the pole, and that's your shower for the evening. Very efficient. You just have to obviously bring your own water and be able to heat it up on the fires. Inside the loos there are enviro loos, so essentially a long drop, but without the typical smell or discomfort of a long drop. So it's got a regular toilet seat that you just sit on and do your thing. There's a urinal for the gents, and then similar setup for the ladies. So very convenient. So even though you are out in the wild and having a true unfenced bush camp experience, you do have some creature comforts inside of the camp.
Haven't done this in 2 weeks. Wait, what?
Can we have some words from our TikTok competition, please?
Yeah. What do we just did a goodie? What was that?
It's hot, but it's lacquer.
It's hot, but it's like.
I don't TikTok, so I can't comment.
My brain is dead.
It's the morning of day 4. It's our last day on the trail. Today we head up to Crook's Corner, finishing at Pafuri Picnic Site. The Lebombo Trail has been absolutely amazing, truly stunning. Some really amazing vistas, not that much game, the usual kind of plains game I guess that you see, wildebeest, elephant, giraffe, zebra, lots of that. We did see a honey badger on day 2, and then last night in camp we actually had a leopard. It was trying to sneak up on 2 of the guys in our group. Luckily they managed to get inside the vehicle, but big male leopard taking a chance in the dark, so that was quite an experience. We've just packed up and are about to hit the trail for our last morning in the Kruger National Park. That is Pilot, our guide. He's just doing a bit of a sweep and a cleanup for the next group of Lebombo Trail travelers who I believe are leaving this morning and will be arriving here in 3 days' time.
Yeah, excellent. Been enjoying it. Little bit dusty, which is to be expected, but yeah, it's been fantastic. Each camp is different, yeah, and unique in their own right. But last night was particularly good. So, but yeah, last stretch this morning, and then yeah, to our last night at Punta Maria. So it's been good.
So what can you expect on the Lebombo Eco Trail? Well, for starters, epic scenery. Think sweeping vistas straight out of a nature documentary. There's wildlife everywhere, as if David Attenborough is just around the corner. You'll get sunsets so stunning they'll make your Instagram followers weep. And of course campfires where you'll sit around pretending you know how to toast a marshmallow. Now, while a 4x4 isn't strictly essential, it is highly recommended. And good off-road tyres, those aren't just recommended, they're absolutely necessary. Unless of course you enjoy the idea of being stuck in the middle of nowhere, evaluating your life choices.
I get hooked.
Ian's just been into Mozambique.
Mozambique. Nice holiday. Oh, actually, I've just finished my teapot. Anyone want to dash him? Put a bomb.
We are standing here in Crook's Corner, the far northern corner of the Kruger National Park. This is the Limpopo River behind us, natural border between South Africa, Mozambique and Zimbabwe. So over there we have Zim, that side over there is Mozambique, and standing right here we are in South Africa. We've just arrived at Pafuri Picnic Spot, the official end of the Lebombo Trail, about 500 kilometers off-road over the last 5 days. What an absolute privilege. Beautiful trip, amazing scenery, good mates. It really has been a special, special trip.